Good morning. Those who know me, you know that I love coffee. And that's what I want to speak about today. It's like coffee, quitting coffee, having coffee cravings. And that's a topic that I constantly am getting back because I don't want to completely remove coffee from my life. I really enjoy it when I enjoy it. And I want to keep enjoying it, but I don't want it to take control of me. And that is when I originally quit coffee or started experimenting with lowering the dosages and noticing how it affects me, like if I have some like cravings, if it's like physiological, emotional, and how it affects my energy levels and such. So being really mindful about my coffee consumption. And what I noticed over the months is that there is like this, I would say, dose-dependent relationship. What I mean is that we know that caffeine is a stimulant, but it's also like a drug that has addictive properties. And when you, for example, quit cold turkey, you can really feel like headaches, you can feel being not as happy, so you might have bad mood, you might be irritable. So these are really like withdrawal symptoms. And what I noticed is like I have that threshold at 4 and at 2 coffees a day, which is about 200 to 400 milligrams of caffeine. And that is that if I drink, or when I drank, more than 4 coffees a day, that's when I felt not ideal, it was beyond ideal, it was starting having negative impact on me, on my sleep, on my overall energy levels, and how I felt. I was pretty much wired, how they call it. And I also craved the coffee more. On the other hand, when I'm at 2 coffees a day or less, I'm speaking about espressos, then I stop caring about coffee and it's like I can have 1 or I can have 0. It's like no difference and my energy levels are great. So currently I'm between 2 and 4. It's like I have 1 in the morning and then probably sometime at around lunch, which is like variable if I have it or not, and then 1 at about 3 in the afternoon, so I still have this habit after the lunch to have that coffee. And when we are speaking about like quitting coffee and lowering the dosage, the important thing for me was, when I wanted to lower the dosage, was to just postpone that time, to skip it. What I mean that usually I would have coffee at 7 a.m, then at 11 a.m, then at about 2-3 p.m. So let's say that we have these 3 times. And when I skip coffee at, for example, at 7 a.m, I feel like I don't need to have coffee. And I just enjoy that at 11 a.m. But at 11, I might also noticing, if I skip that first one, that I don't even want that at 11. And then it's easier to skip another and the other. And in that way, lower my consumption of coffee over the period of time. So I think that it's, if you want to, for whatever reason, to experiment, I encourage you to experiment. So if you want to do that, if you want to try to see like how coffee affects you, I recommend you to just slowly lower the dosage rather than quitting cold turkey, and let me know how it feels. And if you notice this dose-dependent relationship, like how it affects your cravings, your mood, let me know. Or maybe you have it with a different food. Maybe it's like with chocolate or with a peanut butter. this I found to be very, very tricky. So let me know your experience. I'm really curious.